Got a couple cracks too.
I heard it. Oh.
Good one.
Yeah, I heard it. It went clink. Ready?
Ready.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Today we are doing lesson 130. It is impossible to see two worlds, and chapter 12, the Holy Spirit's curriculum, section 7, looking within, which is something I've talked a lot about. Alex?
Chapter 12, the Holy Spirit's curriculum, section 7, looking within. 1. Miracles demonstrate that learning has occurred under the right guidance. For learning is invisible, and what has been learned can be recognized only by its results. Its generalization is demonstrated as you use it in more and more situations. You will recognize that you have learned there is no order of difficulty in miracles when you apply them to all situations. There is no situation to which miracles do not apply, and by applying them to all situations, you will gain the real world. For in this holy perception, you will be made whole, and the atonement will radiate from your acceptance of it for yourself and everyone the Holy Spirit sends you for your blessing. In every child of God his blessing lies, and in your blessing of the children of God is his blessing to you.
Yes. So, miracles are demonstrating that the learning has occurred. So once you've learned the lesson, it's the miracle of the understanding coming in and you seeing it differently. That is the miracle, folks. That you are able to see whatever it is differently. That is the miracle. Wow, that was the craziest sensation. Everything just like my eyes crossed, everything blurred, and my tongue felt swollen in my mouth for a second. Interesting. Getting a sense of like mandalas with the outer ring going this way, an inner ring going this way, another one going this way, all the way in toward the center. Very strange sensation that was. Please give me a moment. So, as it says here, the learning is invisible. It's the understanding that you come to within you. It's not necessarily something that's manifesting in front of you. And that is the part that seems to be tripping people up. They think it's supposed to manifest in front of them, and it doesn't always do that. It doesn't have to be a physical thing, the miracle. That's why there's no limits or order of difficulties to them. In the generalization it speaks of here, it is how once you grasp the understanding that it becomes a generalization for everything. It's like I shared yesterday, folks, about judgments. How it came down to an understanding of how everything hinges on these judgments I was taught to think and believe are true. It all comes back to that. That's the hinging point, is that first judgment I accepted as the truth. the first judgment I chose to make on my own. And it's true. The atonement does radiate from you after you've accepted it. It radiates from you. Your brothers witness it. They see it. They feel its presence within you. It's a tangible feeling. And as you cross your brother's path, bless them. Because as you bless them, you are blessing yourself. Please continue.
2. Everyone in the world must play his part in its redemption in order to recognize that the world has been redeemed. You cannot see the invisible, yet if you see its effects, you know it must be there. By perceiving what it does, you recognize its being, and by what it does, you learn what it is. You cannot see your strengths, but you gain confidence in their existence as they enable you to act, and the results of your actions you can see.
It's true. You know, I've shared about the jigsaw puzzles that I'm shown, the visuals, the visualizations of jigsaw puzzles that Holy Spirit and Father give to me. The mental pictures of them, of how each being is a piece of a jigsaw puzzle. And as each being takes its place within the puzzle, when you zoom out from that puzzle, it is the face of God that we are seeing. Each being is needed because they are a critical piece to the puzzle. And as it says there, everyone has to play their part in the redemption here. It's like we can't see the invisible. We really can't see the air around us, yet we breathe it in. And yet we feel the effects of the air on our skin. We may not hear or even see the judgments of those around us, but the energy of it is felt. Sometimes, folks, not everything is as it seems. And what you think you perceive isn't always true. And sometimes there's other things working in the background that you can't see. There's other energies at play that are happening, that are unfolding so that lessons can be learned. There's all kinds of things that are going on here that we have no comprehension of because we always stay on the surface in everything. It's talking about there being deeper purpose to everything. It's like we judge everything, so we don't know where we're strong and where we're weak. We judge them to be opposites. And in everything, we have to understand that we're not able to guide ourselves in any of this. We are poor learners. This is why we must seek Holy Spirit's counsel in everything. Ask and we shall receive. Please continue.
3. The Holy Spirit is invisible, but you can see the results of His presence, and through them you will learn that He is there. What He enables you to do is clearly not of this world, for miracles violate every law of reality as this world judges it. Every law of time and space, of magnitude and mass is transcended, for what the Holy Spirit enables you to do is clearly beyond all of them. Perceiving His results, you will understand where He must be, and finally know what He is. You cannot see the Holy Spirit, but you can see His manifestations. And unless you do, you will not recognize He is there. Miracles are His...
It's realize He was there.
Didn't I say that?
No, recognize is what you said.
Oh, okay. And unless you do, you will not realize He is there. Miracles are His witness, and speak for His presence. What you cannot see becomes real to you only through the witnesses that speak for it. For you can be aware of what you cannot see, and it can become compellingly real to you as its presence becomes manifest through you. Do the Holy Spirit's work, for you share in His function. As your function in heaven is creation, so your function on earth is healing. God shares His function with you in heaven, and the Holy Spirit shares His with you on earth. As long as you believe you have other functions, so long will you need correction, for this belief is the destruction of peace, a goal in direct opposition to the Holy Spirit's purpose.
Absolutely. So, are you guys getting an idea of exactly who and what Holy Spirit is yet? Of what His purpose here is? You know, Alex keeps telling me I sound like a broken record about it. You know, you can't see Him, but you can sure feel the results of Him being there with you. You can feel His presence. Every time I'm dropped to my knees with pain and suffering or a misperception, He's there with me and I feel His presence. And as I ask for the correction, I feel Him within me showing me the truth. He's invisible, but yet I know He's there with me. He's part of me. You know, these things they're talking about what He enables us to do. I've talked about being healed of all the diseases and everything else. My doctors couldn't figure out how the hell I did what I did. That's what He's talking about, folks. My doctors did not understand how it was that I was able to heal every single disease they had diagnosed me with. Done their lab tests and everything else and told me I had. They couldn't figure it out how it was that I healed everything. With no medications, no surgeries. One of them finally asked me, what exactly did you do? And I sat there and explained it to him. He took it in and just said, wow, that's what you call a faith healing. To take that step to start listening only to the voice within me. It's that kind of stuff it's talking about where a miracle happens and no one can explain how it happened. They know it did. They see the results of it, but they don't know how it happened. That is what is happening with my doctors and me. They couldn't understand it until I broke it down for them. And then they came to understand that there was more to it. That it was faith and trust in taking that step out there on that limb, that what I was hearing was the truth from within me. And each time, I keep telling you guys that I've had to reach the bottom of my barrel before I would finally turn to God. And I don't know why that is, that humanity needs to hit the bottom of their barrel before they finally turn to God and plead for understanding as to what it is they're doing. But that seems to be the case. We have to want change strong enough within us to be willing to do so. And I see Holy Spirit's work all around me constantly. Every time I'm connecting and interacting with my brothers, I see Him at work through me. I feel Him stepping into me and speaking to my brothers. Our beliefs are what keep us separate from each other, folks. Our beliefs and the judgments and opinions that have been handed to us. And it's up to us to let those things go and come together. Please continue.
5. You see what you expect, and you expect what you invite. Your perception is the result of your invitation, coming to you as you sent for it. Whose manifestations would you see? Of whose presence would you be convinced? For you will believe in what you manifest, and as you look out, so you will see in. 2 ways of looking at the world are in your mind, and your perception will reflect the guidance you have chosen. I am the manifestation of the Holy Spirit, and when you see me, it will be because you have invited Him. For He will send you His witnesses, if you will but look upon them. Remember always that you see what you seek, for what you seek you will find. The ego finds what it seeks, and only that. It does not find love, for that is not what it is seeking. Yet seeking and finding are the same, and if you seek for 2 goals, you will find them, but you will recognize neither. You will think they are the same because you want both of them. The mind always strives for integration, and if it is split and wants to keep the split, it will still believe it has one goal by making it seem to be one.
Absolutely.
I didn't really understand that. Did you?
Yes, I am getting an understanding of it. My head feels kind of foggy, woolly right now for some reason. And my ears are ringing real loud, and it keeps feeling like somebody's wanting to step in.
Well, let them. Maybe they can explain that.
So, in that first paragraph there in 5, where it's talking about you see what you expect and you expect what you see. When you have an expectation of something, you manifest that in front of you. And it's that manifestation that causes you to close your mind to any other possibility out there, to make it so that you cannot see any other option available to you in those moments. And when you have the expectation put out there like that, that's the only thing you invite in. That's the only thing you're asking to see in those moments. And your perception will be a result of what you are choosing to believe. So if that is what you're wanting to experience, then that's what you're inviting in. That is all you will perceive out there. You project out there what it is that you believe. We've talked about this before, folks. You only see what you believe. And believe it or not, it's that stuff that you focus on that you yourself are manifesting. The more energy you put into the belief of that thing, that negative, fearful thing, the more power you give it to manifest and become true, to become real. And as it says here, you have two ways of looking at the world within your own mind. You have been taught the way to think with the ego. We are showing you a way of how to think with the Holy Spirit. Those are the two different ways within your own mind. Each of them are a choice you have made. And in paragraph 6, where it's talking about he will send you his witnesses, he will put before you people that will speak of the truth and speak as it has been shown to them, or open themselves as I do to allow him to speak through me. And those are the witnesses he speaks of, that will speak of what it is they have believed to be true. What they are being shown is the truth. And in everything, they are standing in their light of truth so that you may witness this truth through them. And they are witnessing for you the truth that he has shown them. They witnessed it through him and now are sharing it with you. Just as we are. And remember here, folks, that it is what you're seeking that is being shown to you in those moments. Judge it not. Stop judging the messenger for who you think and believe them to be. Instead, listen to the message, for that is what is important. Not the messenger, but the message. The messenger is no more than a radio in those moments. They are no more than a loud phone speaker giving voice to the message that you need to receive. Hear the message. Ignore the messenger. And as it was saying there, the ego will have you seeking everywhere in the world, and everything it has you seek for, you won't find. You can't have both of them. You got to choose one, Holy Spirit or ego. Which thought system, which one are you going to choose? They're in your own mind. You have to choose. And continue choosing each and every time. It's not just a one-time thing, folks. This is something that is going to be continuous. Every moment of your life, you will have to choose Holy Spirit and only Holy Spirit. In every decision, every act, every action you make. Please continue.
7. I said before that what you project or extend is up to you, but you must do one or the other, for that is a law of mind, and you must look in before you look out. As you look in, you choose the guide for seeing, and then you look out and behold his witnesses. This is why you find what you seek. What you want in yourself, you will make manifest, and you will accept it from the world because you put it there by wanting it. When you think you are projecting what you do not want, it is still because you do want it. This leads directly to disassociation, for it represents the acceptance of two goals, each perceived in a different place, separated from each other because you made them different. The mind then sees a divided world outside itself, but not within. This gives it an illusion of integrity and enables it to believe that it is pursuing one goal. Yet, as long as you perceive the world as split, you are not healed. For to be healed is to pursue one goal, because you have accepted only one and want but one.
Yeah. Did you get all that?
No. I was hoping you were going to have that step in again. That was very helpful.
I probably will. This seems to be pretty jam-packed. And if you guys haven't noticed, it's like 1:30 in the morning for us. It's been a really long day.
By the way, this is the last paragraph of today's lesson.
Really? I thought it was the whole...
No. Tomorrow is 8 through 15. I was just looking at that.
Okay. Woohoo. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yay. So, we've talked about projection, folks, and how we project out what we believe and we perceive it in front of us. And how we choose to project or extend is completely up to us. And we must do one or the other. If we're with our ego mind, we're projecting. If we're with Holy Spirit, we're extending. Big difference between the two. With Holy Spirit, we share our truth. We stand in our light of truth, and we share our experiences and the lessons we've learned through them. Authentically and honestly. Nothing hidden. With our ego, we project out there. We assume, we judge, we give advice. Those are the differences between the two. This is why you have to choose who you're going to do these things with. And that's what it's telling you there. That, it is up to you, but you must do one or the other, for that is the law of the mind. And you must look in before you look out. So it's what you're choosing to do in those moments. You are looking within you to either ego or Holy Spirit, and then you project it out there or you extend. And as you look within, you do this choosing and this seeing. You're seeing either the ego gestures that you were taught, or you are extending with Holy Spirit and seeing what He is showing you as the truth. And it's which one are you choosing? And it's true, what you want, you will make manifest. So really think about what it is you're wanting in your life. I mean, granted, wealth, success are all fine and dandy. It's like I ran across a story earlier today on Facebook. And it was about there being, 3 old wise-looking men were sitting in this woman's front yard. And she came outside and asked them, what are you doing sitting in my yard? What can I do for you, gentlemen? And they said, we're the 3 wise men. We're wealth, success, and love. And she's like, why don't you all come in out of this heat? And they're like, none of us go in together. You can only choose one of us to enter. Why don't you go back in and talk to your husband in family and see which one you all would like to have come in? She goes in and she talks to her husband, and he's all, how about wealth? And she's like, well, how about success? Well, their daughter-in-law sitting across the room listening to this, she's like, how about love? If you bring in love, then we'll have our house filled with love. And so they all agree that that would be best, and she goes out and invites love in. Well, as soon as love gets up and starts walking in, success and wealth follow. And she's like, wait a minute, I thought you said you guys don't come in together. And wealth looks at her and says, but if you had invited me or success, then it would have been just me or success. And no love would come in and neither success with either one of us. But you invited love, and with love comes wealth and success. So you chose the right path. You chose love. And that's what this is bringing to mind for me. That choice. Ego has you choosing wealth and success. Holy Spirit has you choosing love. You can have wealth or you can have success. You might be able to get a little bit of both of those together, but very seldom does love come with it. Usually it doesn't. Think about all those movie stars and rock stars out there. None of them are happy. None of them are joyful. If you listen to the stuff that they sing about, it's not happy and joyful. Yet if you choose to bring love in instead, wealth and success come with it. Because they come with Holy Spirit. All is given. You know what it's talking about there about the disassociation? When one doesn't choose to fully go with Holy Spirit, when they choose to stick with the ego mind, it's like they become an enlightened ego. They're still sitting there spewing out the judgments, the advice, the opinions, judging whether or not something's good, bad, right, or wrong. They're not understanding yet that it's those judgments that have kept them in their ego mind. They are not with Holy Spirit in those moments. And that's part of what it's talking about there. Recognizing when you're getting caught up in your ego mind and to step back with Holy Spirit. To choose again and choose differently this time. That every time you choose ego, you are disassociating yourself from Holy Spirit. It's like I keep coming back to these ACIM teachers out there that have these, reverend titles and everything else, holding up a piece of paper as if it gives them some right. Some knowing more than someone else. And it's that kind of disassociation. It's like they're putting a wall between themselves and their brothers in those moments. Keeping them divided from the outside world. And they're still stuck in that split world, folks. That's what it was talking about with that. All right, that was Chapter 12, the Holy Spirit's Curriculum. Section 7, Looking Within, paragraphs 1 through 7. Let's move on to the lesson of the day. Are you sure that yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. All right, let's move on to the lesson of the day. Alex?
Lesson 130. It is impossible to see two worlds. Perception is consistent. What you see reflects your thinking, and your thinking but reflects your choice of what you want to see. Your values are determiners of this. For what you value, you must want to see, believing what you see is really there. No one can see a world his mind has not accorded value, and no one can fail to look upon what he believes he wants. Yet who can really hate and love at once? Who can desire what he does not want to have reality? And who can choose to see a world of which he is afraid? Fear must make blind, for this its weapon is. That which you fear to see you cannot see. Love and perception thus go hand in hand, but fear obscures in darkness what is there.
It's true. Perception is always consistent. By your choice of going with ego or Holy Spirit, you are choosing which you are going to perceive with. If you're going with ego, you're projecting out. So you will perceive your own projections, your judgments. If you're going with Holy Spirit, you extend out. So you perceive what you extend. Because that is what you can see. And what you value here is what's going to determine which you choose, ego or Holy Spirit. The things of the world are of the ego. The material goods and gains. Money, sex, drugs, alcohol, all that stuff is egoic. Holy Spirit is about connecting with your brothers and sharing the love and compassion and understanding. Connecting through heart and mind. And what you don't want, what you fear, is what you reject. And you fear what you don't understand. And you fear it to be something it's not because you do not understand it. And that's what it's talking about there in paragraph 2, where it says, fear must make blind, for this is its weapon. That which you fear to see, you cannot see. It completely blindfolds you so you cannot see it. And then you go and in those moments you turn your back on it, rejecting it. And it's true what it's talking about there. Love and perception go hand in hand, and fear is obscures in darkness. What is there? Please continue.
What then can fear project upon the world? What can be seen in darkness that is real? Truth is eclipsed by fear, and what remains is but imagined. Yet what can be real in blind imaginings of panic born? What would you want that this is shown to you? What would you wish to keep in such a dream? Fear has made everything you think you see, all separations, all distinctions, and the multitude of differences you believe make up the world, They are not there. Love's enemy has made them up. Yet love can have no enemy, and so they have no cause, no being, and no consequence. They can be valued, but remain unreal. They can be sought, but they cannot be found. Today we will not seek for them, nor waste this day in seeking what cannot be found.
It's true. When you recognize that your fears have no grounds, no bounds for reality, that none of it's true, none of it's real, none of it has any meaning unless you've chosen to give it meaning, all the crap falls away, and all those differences you were seeing and everything begin to disappear. When you look out on your brothers and you see a line of 20 men, that's all you see is 20 men. You don't see their ages. You don't see their skin tones. You don't see how they're dressed. There's no other distinction than that there are 20 men standing there. Or if there's men and women, you still see that there are just 20 beings standing there. No distinctions. All separations just fall away. You don't see them as being any different than you in any way. You stop seeing that there's any kind of differences between anyone. You recognize how all of us are thinking, seeing, saying, doing what we were taught to do. And that many have not stopped to question what they're doing. And yet many are starting to question. Once you can let go of the belief in those fears, folks, there's no consequence. You realize they're not real, they're not true. So they have no meaning, no value. Please continue.
It is impossible to see two worlds which have no overlap of any kind. Seek for the one, the other disappears, but one remains. They are the range of choice beyond which your decision cannot go. The real and the unreal are all there are to choose between, and nothing more than these. Today we will attempt no compromise where none is possible. The world you see is proof you have already made a choice as all-embracing as its opposite. What we would learn today is more than just the lesson that you cannot see two worlds. It also teaches that the one you see is quite consistent from the point of view from which you see it. It is all a piece because it stems from one emotion and reflects its source in everything you see.
Absolutely. So what it's talking about there, folks, is the way you've been taught to perceive your world, how you've been taught to think and believe of it, how it is supposed to be, what it's all supposed to be about. We talked about how you have been taught to conform to others' dictates. Well, in that same way, you have been taught to perceive the world around you through the eyes of those who are teaching you. Think about that for a moment. As a child, you would ask, what is this? Why does this happen? Where did this come from? Why is that like that? And every time you asked, it was explained to you the same ways it has been explained to your parents or your grandparents or anyone before you. And because of this, way of taking things in. They are trying to get you to understand that all of this stuff stems from that stuff you have been taught. And that the one emotion that is the basis of all of these things was fear. Growing up, everything was about control and manipulation. I would be manipulated and controlled by those around me. If I didn't do what I was told, when I was told, as I was told, punishments came from them. And I learned to conform very quickly to the dictates of those around me so I wouldn't be punished and hurt. You know, children conform very quickly to stop the pain and suffering. They learn to close down and shut out things that they're able to do. And when they are being told they have to conform to something that goes against everything within their being, they begin to shut down. They begin to act out in different ways. And many times they're being misdiagnosed with this stuff and given pills and told there's something wrong with them. What's wrong with them is that they keep trying to conform to another's dictates and it's killing them inside. And they're getting angry and frustrated with themselves because they can't seem to be themselves. They are not being allowed to be who they want to be. Think about that. Because in that same way as adults, that's what all of us are doing too now. Which is why we're here doing this. That pain and suffering has gotten so great that we are like done. We're like, we've had enough. Well, children nowadays are getting to that point much, much faster. It's why they keep trying to medicate them into oblivion. Please continue.
6 times today, in thanks and gratitude, we gladly give 5 minutes to the thought that ends all compromise and doubt, and go beyond them all as one. We will not make 1,000 meaningless distinctions, nor attempt to bring with us a little part of unreality, as we devote our minds to finding only what is real. Begin your searching for the other world by asking for a strength beyond your own, and recognizing what it is you seek. You do not want illusions, and you come to these 5 minutes emptying your hands of all the petty treasures of this world. You wait for God to help you as you say, "It is impossible to see 2 worlds. Let me accept the strength God offers me and see no value in this world, that I may find my freedom and deliverance."
Yes. So, 6 times today, in thanks and in gratitude, for 5 minutes each time, they're asking you to give your mind, your thoughts, your attention to this thought here, that it is impossible to see 2 worlds. Let me accept the strength God offers me and see no value in this world, that I may find my freedom and deliverance. 5 minutes, 6 times a day. It's not a lot to ask. All you have to do is choose whose eyes you want to see with, ego or Holy Spirit. Please continue.
God will be there, for you have called upon the great unfailing power which will take this giant step with you in gratitude. Nor will you fail to see his thanks expressed in tangible perception and in truth. You will not doubt what you will look upon, for though it is perception, it is not the kind of seeing that your eyes alone have ever seen before. And you will know God's strength upheld as you made this choice. Dismiss temptation easily today whenever it arises, merely by remembering the limits of your choice. The unreal or the real, the false or true is what you see, and only what you see. Perception is consistent with your choice, and hell or heaven comes to you as one. Accept a little part of hell as real, and you have damned your eyes and cursed your sight, and what you will behold is hell indeed. Yet the release of heaven still remains within your range of choice, to take the place of everything that hell would show you. All you need say to any part of hell, whatever form it takes, is simply this: it is impossible to see two worlds. I seek my freedom and deliverance, and this is not a part of what I want.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So, it's asking you to dismiss your temptations, to give in to those egoic fears and beliefs that something is going wrong, something is bad, something disastrous has just befallen you and your entire world is crumbling. It's the same thing. All of them are the same thing. Doesn't matter the label you slap on it, folks. It's all the same thing. They want you to recognize that you're the one with the power here to choose what it is you want to do, who it is you want to follow, Holy Spirit or ego. And every time the ego pops its little head up, you're to dismiss what it's showing you as not the truth, and to turn to Holy Spirit instead and ask for the truth. This is what they're asking. Very simple. And to recognize every time that that ego voice pops up with whatever it has, to sit there and say, it is impossible to see two worlds. I seek my freedom and deliverance, and this is not part of what I want. Every time the ego pops its ugly little head up and starts talking its bullshit, that is what you are to say to him. I am not wanting you. I prefer Holy Spirit. All right, everyone. That was lesson 130. It is impossible to see two worlds, with the correlating chapter text of chapter 12, the Holy Spirit's curriculum, section 7, looking within, paragraphs 1 through 7. Thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Sabrina Reyenga.
And my name is Alex Reyenga.
Hugs, love, light, and blessings on your journey, my brothers. You are loved. We love you. Thank you for joining us. Please be the light you are meant to be. Please be the light we know you to be. Please be the light we see you to be. Please choose to be the light. Blessings on your journey, my brothers. You are loved. We love you. Have a glorious day.